Women are outpacing men in the workforce while also working a second shift filled with household duties, cooking, and caring for the kids.
Laura Bazelon's new book explores the challenges women face. It's called Ambitious Like a Mother, Why Prioritizing Your Career is Good for Your Kids. And Laura joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We've all heard that phrase, work-life balance, and something's got to give, but you seem not to necessarily believe in that.
I'm not a work-life balance believer. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's the kind of term that tortures women by making them believe that somehow it's impossible, or possible to have everything in perfect equipoise. Like, think about how often you see a seesaw perfectly balanced. It's always going like this or like that. And that's much more of a realistic depiction of a working mother's life.
So many women who work feel guilty, and it's like you're not at enough, you're not doing enough. But you make the argument that showing your child that you're a working mom and that you're good at your job can be beneficial to kids. Is there studies that prove that out?
There are. I was so heartened to read. There was a study that was done by a Harvard professor that looked at about 100,000 children who had working mothers. And actually, the data is very encouraging in terms of their life outcomes. They tend to earn a little bit more money if they're daughters. If they're sons, they tend to do more around the house. And generally, it's affirming with the idea that, being a working mother is not harmful to your children, but actually teaches them independence and resilience.
And what are we seeing in terms of the impact on the husband? Have we evolved to the point where husbands are okay doing that? Are they holding their share of the household chores in a dual income family?
I would say that the husbands are a work in progress. And I think it is incumbent on both people in the relationship to really aim for more parity. But what I mean by that, too, is that some of the moms I interviewed, they were very much perfectionists in their work, but also in their home life. And so they didn't really want to push for parity necessarily because things like diaper changing and grocery shopping and doctor appointments in their minds were going to be done differently and worse by the dads. And I think moms have to just sort of adjust to that learning curve if they really want things to be more equal.
So do you think going forward after the pandemic that women can actually demand to work part-time from home? I mean, obviously every job is different, but are you finding that flexibility at the office is changing?
This is so interesting. So while the pandemic was raging, the theory was that it was driving women out of the workforce permanently, and that's actually not true at all. What ended up happening was that women mostly hung on by their fingernails because that's what women do. We persevere. And at this point, there's a labor scarcity across industries. And so women really have an unparalleled opportunity to advocate for themselves and bargain for exactly as you say, more flexibility, more accommodations to make their lives better, more pleasurable, and more sane. And employers are under pressure to fill these positions and to keep working mothers happy, or they're going to go elsewhere.
I would imagine there are cases, though, where kids are suffering for whatever reason. And is there a discussion between the husband and the wife about something does have to give? How do you have that discussion?
That's a great question. Someone was asking me the other day, is it possible to have two very ambitious, striving parents who are working not just full-time, but sort of overtime? And my answer to that is really no, unless they can buy their way out of all of this problem by having the wealth to have round-the-clock childcare. I really believe in this idea of a seesaw marriage where one person's career is prioritized at one time with the understanding that it's going to swing back. I think it's very, very difficult to have both people going full throttle all the time.
Very true. All right, well, for more information, you can check out LauraBazelon.com. She's on Twitter and Instagram. And the name of the book is Ambitious Like a Mother. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.